Welcome, welcome, welcome. Whoops. Of course, the first day we go live and I hit the wrong button.
Happy Wednesday.
Wednesday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the WOW podcast, WOWW, Wendy's on Wellness Wednesday. I am Dr. Wendy Sue Massey. I am a retired ER and trauma registered nurse. Now I am an alternative medical practitioner, lover of Jesus, lover of all things natural, wife, mom, Gigi, and this is my amazing bestie, Wendy Flournoy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Wendy Flournoy, certified hypnotherapist, herbalist enthusiast, wife, mom, Gigi to 5 with 6 on the way, gardener, lover of all things natural, non-toxic, and Jesus too.
Yes. I just want to share, this is our first time. We've only been doing this on YouTube. Wendy and I are not the most technologically advanced people. We help people. We don't know anything about equipment.
Technology challenged.
Yes. So today is the first day that we are actually broadcasting live on also Facebook. We've only been doing YouTube so far. We are going to branch out into other areas. But I was able to figure out how to make this happen. So Wendy, we're going to go on and it lets you share.
All right. I'm looking right now.
Go on my wall. And I'm going to also share this in Simplify Clean Eating, and hopefully, so we can just test this while we're at it and see if it will allow us to share this.
All right. We're live on Facebook. Come chat with us.
Yes. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. And I cannot share this, y'all. Share. We have so much fun on this. As a matter of fact, Wendy and I, the other night, we were talking on the phone. And it was Monday night. We were on the phone and I have Wendy on speaker and we're just chatting. And Bill looks at me and he's like, are y'all doing a podcast? This is how we talk. This is how we talk.
No, this is how we are all the time.
Yes. It was so funny. He knew we weren't, but it was just hilarious. So anyway, I welcome everybody who has never watched us before. Welcome everybody who has. If you do watch us on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel.
Please. And share.
Share it.
Subscribe, like, comment, share.
Yeah, we're trying to get this out there more and more. For anybody who hasn't watched us, we talk about all things natural health. Jesus is always weaved into it somehow.
That's right.
But we are just so excited to bring this. And the number one comment we keep getting is about our chemistry. Because, we truly are. We love each other so much. And we basically thought this would be a fun podcast to bring out where you all get to see what our phone conversations were like. But no, we always get together and talk about how we're going to save the world. And so now you can be a part of that. But anyway, we have some great topics today. We are going to, every week we have all this grand plan of 18,000 things we're going to talk about, and we really try and respect your time and keep it to an hour, and we end up saying, okay, well, we'll talk about that next week. But for sure today, I know we are going to talk about some of Wendy's creations she has had going on. We are going to talk about the difference in proactive versus reactive medicine.
Nice.
And I'm going to share some very personal stuff about our own blood work and what makes such a difference of knowing this stuff, in advance. So anyway, lots of things to discuss.
Thanks.
I want to share, look, this.
Oh, I like that. Where'd you get that?
One of the chosen ones. It's in honor of them releasing the dates for the approximate dates for the season 5. I'm like crazy.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. So chosen is season 5 is going to be, they just announced this week, is going to be early April. So can't wait.
Good.
Gotta wait, but
I
can't
love that shirt.
Thank you. Anyway, all right. So where should we start, Wendy?
Why don't you start with your proactive versus reactive?
Okay.
And when you're going through this, Wendy, why don't you remind people about the website to go to get those labs done?
Yes, most definitely. So Um, for anybody that's been watching us, you know that we had a couple of weeks of recorded because I was traveling to see my grandbabies and my babies. I was in Tennessee. So the last 2 weeks were recorded. I had mentioned in our previous live one that we were doing our functional medicine labs, and there is an incredible website. I cannot stress enough what a big deal this is. So, just a little backstory, I've been searching for years for a reasonably priced panel of functional medicine labs to be able to offer to my clients. And the most reasonably priced one that covered the majority of what I wanted it to cover would run about $900 for one panel. So I've never recommended it. It's crazy. It's so much. Now, granted, it's wonderful, and if I had somebody that I know, had no problems with affording it, I might mention it, but I really just did not go that way. For that reason, it was just so out of reach for most people. So Dr. Mark Hyman, who a lot of people know, he is, I mean, so many of us in alternative medicine look to him. He started the Cleveland Clinic for functional medicine. He's the brain trust of all things functional medicine. I just love him. He's written so many books. He's got an incredible podcast. His longevity podcast is an amazing series. Just anyway, I could go on and on and on about him. He has started a subscription service for functional medicine labs. And I was very skeptical when I first saw it. I trusted it because of him, but I was like, how good can this be? Y'all, it is $499 for 2 panels a year. And you only have to do it once if you want. You don't have to sign up for multiple years. But when you sign up, your first panel is over 100 labs.
Oh, wow.
Your second panel you do 3 to 6 months later, and that is a repeat of 60 of them that he believes you should watch, throughout the year. Y'all, that is unheard of. Just having the one panel at half the price of anything I have found already blew me away. Well, y'all, let me tell you, what it is doing for me and my husband is incredible. So first, let me explain to you, why should you care about getting functional medicine labs drawn? I've already shared why so many times. Now I have a real personal reason why, and it's mind-blowing. So let's start with my husband. He has been in the last 3 years through cancer, through multiple visits to the NIH where they draw 46 tubes of blood. His tumor growth was so rapid that they wanted to study him at the NIH, y'all. This is a big deal, everything he has gone through over the last 3 years. And he has been in and out of surgical procedures and all these different things. So we get his functional medicine labs drawn, which again, as I was saying, it's gives you all of these indicators well beyond what your standard Western medicine lab work will show. So when you go for your regular checkups, unless you have something wrong, keep that in mind. That's your key right there. Unless you have something wrong, keep that in mind. Oh, you got
Sorry.
that? Oh, that's okay. I'm like, oh no, echo. The joys of multiple sites now that we're trying to get this on.
Making sure the Facebook thing is running right.
Yes. So unless you have something wrong, they only draw on average about 19 labs. Okay. Not 19 tubes, like 19 tests on average is all you're going to get. And that is the normal standard of care in Western medicine. This is not your doctor's fault, okay? This is what insurance says is appropriate, because the insurance companies are the ones that are practicing medicine.
Yes. Yeah.
So anyway, um here I'm getting 100 plus. So Bill gets his lab work back. His triglycerides are through the roof. His cholesterol is atrocious. And anybody that is shocked by this, nobody was more shocked than his wife. But a lot of that is, and we've joked about this for so long, when he's home, he eats great.
Yeah.
Now, by great, sometimes he chooses to sit down and eat a plate of meat and not all the veggies. So he has his opportunity to eat wonderful, and 98% of the time at home he does. It's that time, those times he's away from home and he chooses. We all know he's had, anybody that's followed me for any amount of time, we've had jokes about him. Sometimes you got to just eat the donuts. He loves that quote, and things like that. Well, sometimes, Mr. Donut Man, we find out that your cuteness has now, got to come to a halt. So it's really been incredible to see this. So I went back and I said, okay, well, surely we've got to figure out where this started. So I went back through 3 years of lab work at Hopkins,
Right.
went through all of his panels at NIH. Not one doctor ordered a lipid panel. Do you know why?
Why?
Because his blood pressure is perfect and his EKG is perfect. So they have no reason to be concerned.
To go further.
So what's going to happen? My husband's going to all of a sudden have a stroke or a heart attack before they go, oh, gee, maybe we should check his lipid.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? So anyway,
I know you told me the level and I was like, okay, well, what's normal? Because I didn't know. And I was like,
a tenth of where his is. Tenth of where his is normal.
Yeah.
So it's awful. So we're in between insurance on him. He's just started a new plumbing job. And so we have to wait to get him into a regular doctor, which is okay, because I'm really happy that gives us 3 months to now do nutritionally, also with your lipids. What did I just say? Triglycerides. With your triglycerides, one of the biggest keys to reduce your triglycerides is physical exercise, something he does not enjoy and has never done. And he's always said, well, I have a physical job. I'm a plumber. I don't need to do that. Well, now he went and joined the gym with me this week. And so
even if it's just simple walking, right?
Yes, 100%. Also, a lot of people know I'm not a big supplements girl. I am doing supplemental support on him because we have to. I'm doing krill oil. I'm doing red yeast rice, CoQ10. So there's several things that I'm throwing at him to make sure, cognac fiber, to make sure that we bring this down as much as we can now. Certainly until he can follow up with a physician. I would be all for him not doing, and this is not me, what I would tell all of my clients, this is what I'm telling my husband. If his levels weren't so dangerous, I would be okay with him just doing natural support until, we saw how much we could accomplish with that, and then move on to the next step. As soon as he has insurance, he's got to get into a doctor, because we have to look and see what he can do. And then maybe we can wean him off some medications. But right now it's all natural is what we're doing. And I pray that that's all we need to do.
Right.
If we bring it down significantly. Now, I will tell you that one thing that I believe probably has caused this, and I also talked to his rheumatologist, he has rheumatoid arthritis. And because of the surgical procedures, the real big one in the summer that he had to have, and multiple other things going on with him, we had to have him off of, they believe that it was one of his RA meds that was causing the rapid tumor growth. So they took him off of that and they've been managing him with nothing but steroids. Well, heavy steroid use can increase your triglycerides.
Yeah.
So I am convinced this is what's happened. It may not have been good before, but it
Right.
sure as heck is horrible now. And we've recently just gotten him off of his steroids. So I'm really hoping that that too will help to bring all of this down. Praise God, he's got no symptoms. I mean,
Absolutely.
as high
Amen.
as high as his triglycerides are, you really worry about like pancreatitis and things
Yeah.
like that. He has had no abdominal pain. His pancreatic and liver enzymes are beautiful. So we've caught this, thank God,
Yes.
early. And again, if we were only relying on Western medicine, y'all, he would have had to have had a stroke or a heart attack before we knew this. I mean, this is just insane. So now we have a plan and now we can be more proactive. Now he also is taking me a whole lot more seriously about diet. We are doing less beef and pork and more poultry and trying to get him convinced to do fish. He's not a big fish person. Some fish, so I'll be able to get a little bit in there. But anyway, so we're making some changes based on this, and I'm so grateful. It was worth every penny. And
And that is a major difference between being proactive and reactive, because
then,
you're no longer sitting around waiting for that traumatic event to happen before anything's done.
oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Because again, I want to stress, if you go to the doctor and you think you're okay because your blood pressure is fine and your EKG is fine, it's exactly where he's been. And
Yeah.
when I tell you off the charts, I just want to protect him. So I'm not going to blow y'all away with the number. It is 10 or 11 times what normal is.
She
That's,
was very concerned. She was
oh my
very,
gosh.
very concerned about
I
where it
was
was.
well, and not only was I concerned, when you subscribe to this, their functional medicine doctors call you if there's a major problem. They called him.
They were concerned.
They were very concerned. They were like, "Sir, did you know that this was a problem?" No, not at all. So, what a blessing to have these people. So, now I know a lot of people who have been on medications and things like that. You're having your lipids checked. So, you might be hearing this and going, "Oh, big deal. I know what my lipid panel is. Not a big deal." Because I know that is a standard of care for certain people. It has not been for him. Okay. Because it has had nothing to do with cancer
Yeah.
in their minds and nothing to do with tumor growth in their minds or rheumatoid arthritis. So as long as he's checked off all the boxes,
Yeah.
they have had no reason to run this. So I know some of you all are getting that drawn. Well, let me tell you about me. This was another mind-blowing thing that I literally just found out about on Saturday. So I shared with you all when we first started this podcast that I had really believed that stress, of finishing my doctorate, of lack of sleep, of different things were causing me just to be off. And I put myself through a really good detox. I feel great. Okay. So all of that was wonderful. But I haven't been able to put my finger on something that has been really bugging me for about 3 years now. Okay. I have been convinced that either metabolically or hormonally something is off. Yet the 2 times I've been to the doctor and had my blood work drawn, Mrs. Massey, everything's perfect. Everything was perfect. My blood work has always been perfect. So there's been absolutely nothing done. And I've just been left to try and figure it out. Right.
Yeah.
Which thank God for the knowledge I have, because I have done a lot of stuff. I'd already started initiating, a couple of different supplements and things like that. Well, first of all, I started 6 weeks ago or so doing the Levels Health, which is something totally separate. I will talk more about this in depth, but another really good option. Levels Health gives you a CGM. And I know I've mentioned this in a past podcast, but it gives you a CGM and you watch your blood sugar and how your blood sugars react.
Explain to people what CGM is.
Sorry, you're exactly right. Continuous glucose monitor. So it's constantly real time telling me how my body is reacting to to the foods I'm putting in it, to the exercise I'm doing, all that. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
That'd
And
be
right
amazing.
now, I will tell you, it's a totally different podcast, but I just was listening to Tucker Carlson's podcast last night. And right now, if you go on, if you search for his last podcast that he just did 5 days ago, he's got a link under that. And I found it on YouTube, that gives you 2 months free of the Levels
Oh,
Health
nice.
when you sign up. So anyway, total side note. But anyway, so I've been watching my blood sugar for about 6 weeks. And I've thought, okay, well, maybe there's a little something off. I've been seeing these spikes periodically with certain things I've been eating. But what it's done is it's really helped me make sure I'm pairing foods better and all of that. So, long story short, I have now decided metabolically I'm in great shape, and my Function Health Labs confirmed it. My hemoglobin A1C was 4.8, my fasting glucose was 79, my I mean it was perfect. I was so excited to see that. There was zero wrong with me metabolically.
Right.
Okay. So, then my thyroid numbers start coming back. Okay. Now, mind you, both times that I've gone in to my doctor in the last 3 years and I've said, can you just check my thyroid levels? Because something is just not right. Thyroid levels have been perfect. Thyroid levels are still perfect, except for this one, and it's called TPO on there, which is thyroid peroxidase antibodies. Okay. It's
Okay.
a TPO test. It's one you will never have drawn in
No.
Western medicine.
No.
Okay. So I'm sitting there with these 5 thyroid numbers, other 4 that I recognized and knew what they were, and, and all of that were all perfect as
Wow.
always. The TPO normal is under 9. Mine was 221.
Holy cow.
Yes.
Wow.
So what this means is I have an autoimmune attack on my thyroid that, praise God, hasn't been successful yet. But
Right.
basically, so the thyroid peroxidase it's an enzyme that produces, it's essential for the production of the thyroid hormones. Okay.
Okay.
And that regulates the body's metabolism. So one of the issues I've had for the last 3 years is no matter how healthy I eat, I haven't had any problems with my weight, but it has been one of those things where I'm like, okay, I refuse to believe this is just age. There
Yeah.
is something going on.
Why is this such a struggle?
Why is it such a struggle? And once upon a time, my normals were 150s, and now my normals is low 160s. So it's not like, and I feel great. But I'm
Right.
like, why is this happening all of a sudden over the last 3 years?
Yeah.
Well, here you go, because
Yeah.
this is affecting my metabolism. And thank God I have this information now,
That's right.
because now I'm going into massive thyroid support, massive immune system support until I have all the data and can figure out what the root cause is. So potential root causes are lifestyle, which we know that's not a problem with me.
Right.
I am going to be more consistent about my regular exercise, because while I will have fairly consistent weekly exercise, my regular exercise across the days are not always consistent. I get all crazy and busy and make a million excuses like everybody else.
Distracted, sidetracked.
Yeah. So I am making that more of a priority.
Okay.
Sleep, I'm making more of a priority, which Wendy got my little text message, as did my kids.
I couldn't believe it. I was shocked.
I slept 8 hours and 3 minutes last night. That was so huge for me. I couldn't believe it. My Fitbit gave me a big old high five. I was like, yes, I couldn't believe it. I can't tell you the last time I got 8 hours of sleep, but I've been intentionally, having a really good bedtime routine, nighttime routine, turning off all the devices, reading a physical book before I go to bed, and removing any distractions from the bedroom, like my work phone.
The bedroom is for sleeping.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what I tell people all the time.
Exactly.
If you're having a hard time sleeping or staying asleep, you don't need to be doing anything in
That's
your
right.
bedroom except sleep.
That's right. And I've got chamomile, ashwagandha tea, tulsi, certain nighttime teas I'm drinking just to kind of relax me. My goal is 7 hours because
Right.
even 6 hours before was amazing. So the fact that I hit 8 and I've been fairly consistent most nights of hitting 7, which has been incredible since I've
Yeah.
really started this. But,
Well, I mean, we ran for so many years. I mean, you got less sleep than I did. I ran for a
night
long
shift.
time on 5 hours a night, and I
Oh, yeah.
know you with your nursing schedule and everything, you ran with less than that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was crazy.
It's amazing for me to get 6 to 7, and
Yeah.
now I like it. I really enjoy 7
Yes,
hours.
I do too. I do too. So anyway, having this knowledge of recognizing that I have got an active attack on my thyroid puts me in protection mode.
Yeah,
I've always been good about having well, mostly good, not every day, but now it's every day. 2 to 3 Brazil nuts a day for the selenium. I try and do as much with food, which is what I teach. Let's let's
yes,
let's do as much nutraceutical support as we can. I'm getting a little piece of 100% cacao every day, dark chocolate. Because that helps your thyroid. I'm getting berries in every day, which it's something I've pretty much always done as well. And I'm making sure while I have included green tea in my daily tea blends, now I am making sure because green tea is fantastic for your thyroid and for the immune support. I'm getting a minimum of 2 cups of green tea in every single day, 2 to 4, but definitely a minimum of 2 in the midst of all of my other teas. That's what I'm making sure that I include. So if I would not have had these numbers drawn, I would have had no clue this was going on
yeah,
until it killed my thyroid. And what this TPO leads to, these antibodies, when they kill it off, is to Hashimoto's and to Graves' disease.
yeah.
So how many people do I work with that has Hashimoto's and Graves?
There's a lot of people I know with Hashimoto's and Graves.
They could have had it
Yeah,
prevented if they'd known that they had this attack on
yeah.
it. So I'm looking forward to getting all my lab work back. It takes 2 to 3 weeks because there's, they all take different times for
So
for them.
when will you have that particular lab drawn again to see if what you're doing has brought things down?
I can't remember if that's one of the annual ones or one of the twice a year ones. I'll have to
Okay.
look. I think it's one of the annual ones.
Okay.
So, but I can pay extra and have them checked if I
When you
want.
have your next draw.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So, I may do that. We'll see.
Right,
So far, though, I'm going to tell you, it's really leading me into believing that it's something environmental.
right.
Because again, my goal is to find the root cause.
Yep,
Okay. So if it's something environmental, I mean, it could be anything. So far, all the metals are coming back good. They aren't
right.
all back yet. So far, my immune system is in perfect shape. And
Good.
so that is something that I'm less worried about. My vitamin D level, unfortunately, is low. That's something I can easily correct, and I'm working on that as well. And so was Bill's, which is funny because we're outside all summer. But daggone it, if both of ours, mine
It's
has
not
been low.
enough. It's just not enough.
Yeah, we've both been low the last, or I've been low. I think this is the first time his has been drawn, but I've been low the last couple of times I've had it checked. And I'm not great with supplements, but I am now. I am now. So I'm staying on top of that. But I'm really just I can't stress enough, y'all, what a difference maker this is in preventative medicine. When I get to the root cause of what it is, which I was thinking maybe fillings in my mouth or all the metal in my body. If all the heavy metal stuff comes back, it's not that. You know what my next thing is? Gonna get real personal here. I got breast implants 20 years ago, 25 years ago. It's probably time for them to come out. There's
Right.
a lot of data that shows that those are one of those things that cause women a lot of problems
Yeah.
down the road. And it's like, as I'm thinking about all these different things, if there's an attack on my body, there has to be a reason.
Absolutely.
It's not lifestyle. It's not immune system so far,
Right.
because that's all healthy. So,
Yeah.
it's got to be something. So, anyway,
Well,
not
you're
every,
slowly and steadily weeding out what it isn't. So that, I mean, you're making progress for
yeah,
sure. I didn't even think about the breast implants.
yeah, yeah. So when you get these labs to have all of this data, then you can react before there's a problem. That's the
Right.
whole point of it. You
Yep.
get this knowledge so that you can react before there's a problem. Why do you want to wait until there's a problem? And then Western medicine goes, oh, guess we better check these labs, because that's exactly what happens. And again, I don't fault the doctors. It's not
Right.
their fault.
It's how they
It's,
learn. It's,
it's
it's what they learn.
it's what they're taught, but it's also the insurance companies,
Yep.
and the insurance companies give them these protocols and say, here's what we will pay for.
Yep.
And so that's where it comes from. But yes, I mean, medicine, big medicine, big pharma, big insurance, they are a money-making industry. All three of them, all money-making industries. And when you recognize that, and when you open your eyes, you realize you have got to take matters into your own hands on certain things with your health.
Nobody's going to advocate for you.
No, no. So I'm so grateful to be able to have this as an option for my
Yes.
clients now too. Obviously it'll still be optional. It won't be required as part of my program. I would love to just make that a piece of it, but then it would
Right.
make my program way too expensive for some people.
Yeah.
So
Well,
but to be able to encourage people to be able to spend that $500,
right.
get get their blood drawn twice a year. You are not going to find it this comprehensively done anywhere else. So the website, if you are interested, it is functionhealth.com. Functionhealth.com. Look at all the labs that are covered. Look at the information. If you want to skip the wait list, I think my husband and I, between us, still have maybe 7 or 8 codes available just to help you be able to skip the wait list. It doesn't do a thing for us. It's just they've given each person 5 codes so that if you know anybody that wants to start, they don't have to wait, because it's still in
Right.
beta testing. And
Yeah.
there's so many people jumping on. It's taken a little bit of time to get people in there. So if you want to skip the wait list, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to share. But I
And
am,
if you're somebody like you who's feeling, your lab work's coming back great, you feel okay, but something is off, this might be the perfect thing for you.
I mean, 100%.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're working with me, I can work through all of this with you and what we need to do to correct it. I mean, I as soon as I got this information, I knew exactly what I needed to do. And by the
Yeah.
way, I stopped my subscription for my Levels Health because it's no longer a concern of mine that it's metabolically an issue. I just
Right.
was trying to put the pieces together. So it is definitely hormonal. And now I know what I need to do to fix it. So if you're working with me, obviously I can walk you through all of that. If
That's
you
great.
aren't at that point yet, but would just like to do the blood work, they have a functional medicine doctor that gives you a full report at the end, a full written
Nice.
report. They'll call you if there's something really bad, but they will
Right.
give you a full written report of recommendations. I mean, how beautiful is that? And that's all included in the subscription.
That's
So
nice. That's very nice.
cannot sing their praises enough. They've changed our lives in our household. So I'm excited. And I
Well,
already have
it's
several.
always better to be proactive than reactive.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
take care of so much more
Oh my gosh, that's how
without
health
feeling
should
like
be.
crap.
That's how health should be. And for
Yes.
all of us that really work hard on our lifestyle
Yeah.
to make sure that we're doing all the right things, we're eating the right foods, we're taking the supplements that are necessary, we're doing the herbal teas, we're trying to keep everything as natural as possible. what better addition,
Very,
to our support than
very
than
true.
this? I mean, my clients that have already started using Function Health are already getting so much stuff back. I'm so excited
Yes.
because then I can weed through it. Every once in a while the doctors make a recommendation, then I'm like, because the doctors don't know them.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not doing that. Nope. Okay, but we can do this. And
Right.
yep, I highly recommend this. So I can either echo some of what those doctors are saying, or I can be like, that's spoken from somebody that doesn't have the knowledge of you that I do. So
Right.
here, let's ignore that piece, but let's do this. And so, I mean, it's incredible. Anyway, I know I ramble, y'all, but this was huge. This was a huge
I
discovery.
think it's great just to show people how we utilize things in our own lives.
Yeah,
And I personally think it's very important for everyone to experiment and try, because if you don't, you're not going to find out what's right for you,
right.
you know?
Right. You don't. And just having that knowledge. I mean, more and more people's eyes are being open to what's
Yes.
going on with
Yes.
big pharma, big food, big med, big ag, big, insurance.
That is all about the money.
It
They
is.
they don't give a flipping lick about any of us
No,
or what they're doing to
no.
us. Yeah.
Not at all. So
Yeah.
if you can put the pieces together and get to the root cause of what's going on,
Yes.
because you're actually seeing what's going on and not just what the insurance company says you need to know. No, I need to know it
Yeah.
all. It's my
Don't get
body.
me started on insurance companies.
Woo! Yeah, no doubt. You've had your run in with them for sure with poor Rick. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. So are you wrapped up your proactive reactive? I
Please
wasn't
talk.
saying you couldn't talk anymore.
Please talk.
I'm just getting anxious. I've been quiet for too long.
This isn't normal either. If y'all are just tuning in for the first time, this is usually a lot more back and forth. But as you see, I'm hyper about this subject. So take it away, Wendy.
Well, that's how we are. It's like when one of us has something, the other one sits back and listens, and then we jump in as we, do. Anyway, I wanted to update y'all because my soap is finally ready that I made.
Woo! I'm so
This is the
excited.
coffee oatmeal. It is amazing.
Mm,
It doesn't smell like I thought it would smell, but I didn't put any extra scents or anything in it either. It is excellent exfoliator.
yay.
I
Does it
told
smell
I
like
told
coffee?
Wendy earlier that when I make it again, I will grind the coffee a little finer because it is a little rough on the skin. So tomorrow I'll be using the hibiscus rose one.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I bet that's amazing. Did it smell at all like coffee or no?
No, there was no coffee smell to it all. And I used liquid brewed coffee as the liquid
Uh-huh.
and put the ground coffee beans in it. So there
Mm.
was no coffee smell. I could get a coffee extract
Mhm.
maybe and put some of that in there as long
Mhm.
as it was clean. Now that even smelling it just sitting, it smells more like oatmeal. You can
Okay.
smell the oats in it.
That's
And
surprising.
this one you can definitely smell the rose.
Okay.
So I'm anxious to see what that looks like. But this one really lathered up. I mean, I
Good.
was amazed. I'm like, because we're used to we need suds and bubbles to make us
Yeah,
think we're getting clean.
right.
So the mix of the castor oil in this really gives it a nice suds.
Nice. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. So, and I wanted to show y'all, I've got a few things to show you, just updates, because I'm getting ready. It's getting to be almost time to strain all these. This is the butterfly pea flower tincture.
Oh,
I don't know if the color is coming across in that,
purple.
but it is so pretty. And I've been drinking a lot of that tea because
Mhm.
that's how I get to know an herb, is
Mhm.
by using it by itself to see how it affects me and how we get along, get to
Yeah.
know each other.
Yes. No, that's perfect.
you know, I love Barbara O'Neill.
Oh my gosh.
She is an
Love
amazing
her.
lady, and she has talked so much about wild yam root. So I'm going to be experimenting here soon with wild yam root as far as a tincture and a cream to balance those hormones. I've been doing a
I was
lot of
gonna say,
research on PCOS. I have a
okay,
very good friend who's suffering terribly with PCOS, and the doctors are not getting anywhere.
they
So
won't.
I am developing a PCOS herbal protocol, and she's going to be my guinea pig, and she doesn't know it
Good.
yet.
Get her without me working with her. I can just tell you my number one tip for PCOS, because
Uh-huh.
almost across the board, everybody that I have worked with, of course, eating clean, the gluten-free, soy-free, no processed foods that I do standard with everybody. Almost
Yeah,
every woman that I have worked with PCOS has not done better until they've been dairy-free.
dairy
So
free.
dairy is a huge factor with PCOS.
All
So
right. I know she's done and tried a lot, but I'm actually going to see her this evening. So I'm going to
okay.
ask her about if she's tried going dairy free too.
Yeah. 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 Definitely encourage her to give that a shot. And it may
Okay.
take a little bit of time, but she wants to
Sure.
do all the rest. She wants to do the gluten, soy, and the gluten-free, soy-free, and no processed foods also. But have her try being dairy-free and see how that helps, because I'm telling
Okay.
you, every woman I have worked with PCOS, we've had to take dairy-free. And it's been a huge difference maker.
You know what, and thinking about it, that totally makes sense.
Yeah,
Or that would be a big change.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And I know that she's been through the doctor thing for almost 15 years now with this. So I think she's at the point where she's about willing to try anything because they're able to do nothing.
Right. And they aren't going to mention diet, and they're not going to mention
No,
natural herbal
no,
remedies. So
absolutely not. Oh, Wendy, I wanted to show you too. Our cayenne tincture is almost ready.
I'm
Look how
so
pretty that is.
excited. That's
And
gorgeous.
I'm going to make some of this into a cream because all of the tannins and everything in there are really good for blood flow
Oh,
and arthritis,
ooh, I
soothing.
love that.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited.
In 2 weeks, I'm having a soap day. So
Yay.
Rick had requested a mint soap. So I've been infusing some mint in oil, and that is just about ready.
Oh,
And that is peppermint. So I'm going to make some kind of peppermint soap.
love it.
And I think I'm going to put some beetroot powder in it and make it like my Christmas candy cane.
Oh, I'm so excited. That's awesome.
Okay. And so I've been experimenting like crazy, and everything's getting to be about time. So I have, back at the beginning of October, I was researching the cortisol and balancing the cortisol levels. So I have a daytime cortisol tincture that's
Nice.
almost ready, and a nighttime cortisol tincture that's almost ready.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm just playing and experimenting to see how things go. And I want to show y'all this too, because I've been playing with the freeze dryer a whole lot lately, because As Your Standard had ginger and turmeric on sale because 'tis the time of year.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Ginger,
that is beautiful.
good, now good for 20 years.
Yeah, instead of it going all soft in your fridge.
Yeah, and yucky and slimy. So I keep one little jar of that in my coffee cabinet because I have all my tea stuff in there. So I can throw it in my water, throw it in my tea, and look at this turmeric.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And it's so amazing because when you open the jars, you can smell the ginger, you can
Yeah.
smell the turmeric. My onions are the same way. When the freeze dried onions, I take the top off, it smells like you just cut an onion.
Oh, that's amazing.
So Wendy and I are doing a Women's Health Day in January for New Kent Christian Center.
Mark
So
your calendars, y'all.
Yeah, mark your calendar. Saturday,
January 11th.
January 11th.
Yeah, that's
So in preparation for that, I'm starting to freeze dry things that help me make my teas, like lemon. Some of my teas have lemon in it. So lemon, freeze dried, broken up into a tea blend. You get all the lemon you need right there in your tea blend.
I love it.
I think I'm most excited about this right now, though.
I am too, because that is on my list of things that I need to start incorporating, and
Yeah,
I have not done that yet. So
same.
I'm waiting to see what my cortisol levels are because that isn't back yet.
Okay.
But
Okay.
just so I can, because I don't want to just throw tons of
Oh yeah.
sexual
No,
stuff until I know exactly what direction I'm headed. But for sure, of all the things I've added, I hadn't added that yet. And that is supposed to be really good for the hormonal support, like you said.
yes.
And
And you know what? For men and for women,
yes,
it
yes,
balances hormones. And I'm like,
yes,
that is just amazing because it when you start putting it on your body, it knows what you need.
yeah,
So it takes what it needs, just like the magnesium spray
yes.
that I make. The magnesium, it will soak into your skin and it will keep tingling on your skin until your body has absorbed what it needs. And
Yep.
then it just doesn't absorb anymore.
It's just like iodine. Have you ever
Yes.
done the iodine
Yes.
test?
Yes.
And just for anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, if you use the right kind of iodine, it's I don't have the name of it right in front of me, but anyway, there's a certain iodine, and you want to make sure you don't get the clear one because you got to be able to see the color. But
Right.
if you once a quarter, desiccated, that's it, desiccated iodine. If you once a quarter, you put it on your skin and let it absorb into your skin. Your body's only going to take up what it needs. And the idea is to get it to where you still see a faint amount 24 hours later.
Right.
Whenever I do it for the first time, and you don't have to do it once a quarter, you can do it once a month, whatever. I did just get my iodine levels back and they're perfect. So I'm not stressing over the iodine right now. But periodically I'll tell Bill it's time, and he
Just
puts
check it. Right. Let's just do a self test.
yeah. And a lot of times when we first start it at the beginning of however long it takes us to get it, up to where we want it, it'll all be gone by the time we wake up in the morning. And so you just do it, however many days. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks to get it up to where it's, good at 24 hours. But yeah,
Isn't that amazing how the body just knows?
it does. It does.
I mean, God created us
I was
perfectly.
going to say he knew what he was doing.
That's
He
right.
didn't leave out any details. It's awesome. It is awesome. Oh, that is so exciting, honey. Well, I'm glad you mentioned the Women's Health Day. I definitely wanted to tell anybody who watches, because I know we have a lot of people in the Richmond area, as
Yes.
well as in reasonable driving distance, to
Yes.
mark your calendars. It looks like it's going to be a pretty big thing. They said that their place can hold as many as 400 people, and they're expecting quite a few.
She said she was going to have a flyer out or a Facebook invite out probably Friday. So we'll be sharing that. It's New Kent Christian Center in Quentin, Virginia, which is not too far from the Richmond airport. Great ladies down there.
Yeah,
And
I'm really excited.
what a blessing for them to ask us to
my
come
God.
and share our knowledge.
Yes, that's going to be so much fun. And also something else that I've been really excited to share. Wait a minute. Are you done with your?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what you did?
I didn't, I get so excited and I'm like, I just didn't want to cut you off. Something else very exciting that is happening is I'm right in the middle of my 2 weekends of my rolling out of 16-week journey to optimal health. And what I'm doing is in person at my husband's studio is I'm going through all the different components. I'm recording new videos. I'll use a lot of those that I'm recording, but I'll also do some here in the office. I'll do some outside. I'll do, I'm going to get all new videos recorded, unless they're just some old ones that are just too good to let go.
Right.
But anyway, so I'm in the midst of rolling this out to all of the ladies that signed up to join us. And it's just so exciting. I'm going to have even more this weekend than I did last weekend.
Nice.
And one of the things that I have just rolled out to them, for one, we are, I've mentioned several times, we're changing our name, we're changing our branding. I'm going to be rolling all of that out on Facebook as soon as we have the new website up and running. I'm already starting to get some merchant in, so I can share it. So very excited. But one of the biggest, really exciting changes that we're making involves a couple of my dear friends, one being my dear Wendy Flournoy. So what we are going to do is when we roll out the new program, Wendy is going to do an herbal support session with all of my clients. And she's going to do this at the beginning to help you with any kind of herbal recommendations to get you through the program. It may be something like her PCOS protocol, or it may be something like, just to help you with the stress of a lifestyle change or anything like that. So she's going to do that at the beginning, as well as a final ending consult, just to say, okay, great, here's where you're at. Here's some additional recommendations to continue on your journey. And then, of course, if you want her for extra support, she'll be available for that. But for the cost of the program, it's going to include a consult
beginning and an ending consult
at the end. And also, my dear friend Monica is also going to be doing a consult with everybody for personal training. That is one thing I've had so many questions from people, because I'm so nutrition focused, which is important, and very health focused. But up until now, my focus for physical movement has been my famous quote of "move more than before," which is important. But Monica's going to actually put that into action for you. So she is going to meet with everybody at the beginning of the program and set you up on a 16-week plan. And that fits you, that, actually gives you some direction as to what to do for the next 16 weeks to get you through the program, as well as one at the end. Same thing, just to say, okay, here's where you're at. Here's what I recommend going forward. And again, she will be available if you would like to hire her for additional sessions. But that will be between you and her. But for the cost of the program, you will get both Wendy and Monica at the beginning and the end of the new 16-week program. And I am ecstatic.
What a fantabulous addition.
Oh my goodness. I'm ecstatic about what this is going to do for our clients, and just really bringing in the holistic piece. In addition to rolling out my spiritual health module that is completely optional. And for people who want to do it, I'm sending them all of the, I'm sending them the book and the workbook. I'm sending them all of that as part of the cost of the program.
Nice.
But they'll have that optional spiritual health piece, which is all going to be rooted in Christ. I work with people of all faiths, but anybody that knows me or has followed me for any amount of time knows I am happy to work with everybody. But if you're going to, get any kind of spiritual direction from me, I can't ignore my convictions, which is everything is rooted in Jesus Christ. And again, that's optional. If you come in and you want to, join us for the healing aspects in every other way, and you're not interested in that piece, that is completely up to you. No judgment, no judgment. So anyway, and all of my current and past clients that are listening to this, when I update the program, and you all will know what Member Vault is, that's my lesson platform that I've built for everybody. All of the new information is going to be updated. All of my new videos, all of my new lessons, including the whole spiritual health module, is all going to be uploaded in Member Vault, and you all will have access to that for life. So it's so exciting.
So exciting.
Yes.
I have to tell you, Rick yesterday was not feeling too great. He had the sniffles and a scratchy throat. And so last night we were in the kitchen and he was doing his, and I'm like,
you do that very well.
And I'm looking, and I'm like, I don't want your cooties. So I start pulling out, the turmeric ginger paste. I start pulling out the garlic honey. I start pulling out the elderberry and the fire cider. We threw it all at him. Plus I made that NyQuil tea that we talked about. And I added a little more peppermint to that just to take, because I'm not a big fan of the smell of valerian.
Yeah.
It was really good with more peppermint. So it's kind of, and he's great today.
Praise God. I mean,
you got to get it as soon as it comes on.
Yeah.
Throw
Natural,
everything at it.
natural
Yeah.
medicine works.
I'm so glad we're back live.
I am too. What a difference it makes. What
Yeah,
a difference it makes.
it does.
I will share because you made me think of it with the freeze-dried ginger and turmeric
Yeah.
root. One of the things that I am doing for hormonal support, I know we shared a couple of weeks ago all of the components of my detox tea.
Yes.
Um, this is when it's real important. And I told you all, I think I told you all that did I give them the base and the additions? I can't remember. So for the base, just to run through it real quick, I won't go into the extensive details, but it's half an organic lemon. It's a cinnamon stick, Ceylon cinnamon stick. It's half an inch to an inch of ginger root, and it is raw organic apple cider vinegar, unfiltered. Okay. And then you fill the mug to the top with, preferably a big one, to the top with hot water and let it steep, and you drink on that. And that's my first water of the day. So,
Technically a tea.
yes, technically a tea. So that is the base. But what I have done, I've encouraged in the past for some people, but extra important for me now with this information I got about really needing the hormonal support. And I had done this periodically, but not always. I'm adding the cayenne pepper extract, which you are making because that's excellent for it. I'm adding the turmeric root and the black peppercorns because the
Nice.
black peppercorns help the uptake of the turmeric.
Yes.
So
If you're doing turmeric, you always want to have that black pepper
yeah,
addition
yeah,
because it's gonna help no matter what you're doing. It's gonna help absorb that.
yep, exactly. So I just wanted to share that for anybody that has paid attention to, this detox drink. If you already know you need hormonal support,
Yeah.
those are great additions.
Yeah.
And you know what? I do remember we talked about it because I remember us talking about how hot that daggone cayenne extract is. Don't put it under your tongue. I don't care what the instructions say.
No, never put cayenne tincture under the tongue. No.
So what else do you have going on this week, honey?
Girl, I have a bushel and a half of apples waiting on me.
Oh, wow.
They're just sitting and patiently waiting.
Uh-huh.
So that is on my list of to-dos. I had a couple of friends that wanted me to urgently freeze dry some basil because it's getting cold.
Yeah.
And they're going to be losing them soon. So I've had all these deliveries of people cutting their basil.
Very smart.
My house smells really good.
I bet it does.
Apples is on my list because I am definitely out of apple cider vinegar of my homemade. So I did that 2 years ago. So what I made 2 years ago lasted a good while.
That's great.
So my plan is to try to make as much apple cider vinegar as I can. I got some new fermenting bubblers tops for the mason jars this time because 2 years ago when I did it, I exploded a jar.
Yeah, I did it when I made mine too, and it doesn't smell good.
So this time I got the I got the fermenting bubblers on top to release the gas, so I won't be blowing up any jars this year.
Good. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it.
We learn from our mistakes, hopefully.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes, yes.
So I'll be doing that, and I am consistently working on some herbal protocols that I have in the works and some soap recipes that I have in the works. I'm having a soap day with my cousin Jamie on the 13th. Is it the 13th?
2 weeks from today, because we're
Yes, 2 weeks from today.
We're going to have her pop in here.
She might end up being a guest on here for a few minutes in a couple of weeks.
That'll be
Y'all
awesome.
love her.
That'll be awesome. I love it. I love it.
How about you? What you got coming up? I know you're really busy with the rollout of the rebranding.
I am. I have so much of that to do inside, but I am happy that something is going to pull me outside, which is all of our sweet potatoes. I got to dig up all of our sweet potatoes, and I still have a lot of black-eyed peas on the vine that are just
nice.
dried, which is what I wanted. I
Nice.
wanted to wait till they were dried because they're so much easier to harvest, and I use them dried anyway. So
Okay.
I need to finish the harvesting of all of our black-eyed peas and get them jarred up. And my son is rolling through this weekend on his way to Lancaster. He's going to visit some friends and go to a show up there. And he's only
Nice.
in town for the weekend, and he's going to have his new girlfriend with him. So I get to
Oh,
spend some time with her
yay.
too.
And give Matthew a big hug from Wendy.
I will. I will.
I'll
And
tell you, I harvested this morning some saffron. This is the first time I've ever grown saffron.
uh-huh.
And when I saw the price of saffron in the store, I was like, oh,
It's expensive.
it's like $15 an ounce.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's crazy. So I bought bulbs from the saffron lady.
Nice.
So I was able to get like 60 bulbs for the price of 2 ounces of saffron.
Wow.
So my first little saffrons are coming up. So I harvested my little red saffron this morning for the first time. So I'm so excited about that. I hope the rest of them come up, but I planted them, I mean, just like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So they come up really fast. And then I've got one flower out there right now. So when the flower opens, it's got 3 stamens in it that are red, and that is the saffron.
Oh, how neat.
So the whole month of November, they open.
Okay.
And I'm like, that is so amazing. Gives me something to harvest in November.
Yes.
My sweet potatoes did not do well this year. I don't know what I did wrong.
Oh no.
I had 4
Is that it?
total.
Oh. Well, I'm anxious to see how much we ended up with, because I was fighting the critters all year on
I had deer in my yard. Y'all, I live in a neighborhood. Wendy's out in the country.
Right.
I live in a neighborhood with a fence around my backyard. I had deer in my backyard.
Oh my goodness. They were jumping the fence. Those little suckers. Oh my goodness.
So I don't know if it was because they did eat a lot of the sweet potato leaves, but I didn't think that would affect the harvest in the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it might mean that the energy was going more into the continuation of trying to produce leaves to collect them instead of in the actual sweet potatoes. I hope I have a bunch out there, because I had some gorgeous plants.
Yeah.
So I'll see how they turn out. I've dug up some. I made a sweet potato soup over the weekend. I actually brought it to the wellness seminar that I was doing with this rollout. And I did that and a couple of salads, and it was so good. But the sweet potato soup was phenomenal. I've been eating on it leftover all week, because as always, I made entirely too much. So that's been my supper all week.
Hey, soup season. I love soup season.
It is soup season. All right. Well, we have exceeded our hour. We never have a loss of things to talk about. We want to talk to you next week about oil pulling.
Yes.
Because we were going to do it, and we've got this great product we want to recommend, as well as other options for oil pulling. But we'll talk about that next week, because as always, we ran out of time. Go figure, Wendy. All right. I am so thrilled for every single person and all of the amazing feedback we keep getting. Please keep it coming. Again, share us on Facebook now that we're there live. Share us on YouTube.
Like and subscribe.
That's huge, y'all. YouTube takes us seriously when we get a certain number of subscribers, and it's like a ridiculous number. So we really want to get this.
We appreciate your help in advance.
Yes.
To share and help us get the knowledge out further.
Yeah. And when you subscribe, you get notifications of us going live. We only do it once a week, so you're not going to get blown up like crazy. But so like and subscribe to our channel, please, please, please. And share.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for everything. We love you so much. And until next week, be well.